I'm telling them that I can't breathe. Clearly he don't give a damn about my plea. His ancestors used to hang us on trees. Today they identify as road police. You see I'm black, for that I'm a threat to America. My rise is their fall and their fall is evident. Blood on your hands is heavier than an elephant. Open up America's closet and see skeletons. They kill.
It's another one. Welcome, you guys. This is Reunite, Sandy Speaks, and this is going to be part 2 of Reunite, Sandy Speaks, America's Broken Promise. Hopefully you guys had the opportunity to watch part 1. If not, please watch part 1 before you watch part 2. I want to have some cohesion. So again, this is Reunite, Sandy Speaks, America's Broken Promise, and the objective is to demonstrate how Black people in America, our rights are being violated under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. To recap part 1, I did a compare and contrast as to, how Black people are treated in regards to the police department and law enforcement. And you know what? I really hate to continue to focus on law enforcement. I don't hate it. I just, I have some reservations about it because the police brutality is only a symptom of the bigger problem. The big problem, the primary issue, is white supremacy collective conscious. It is the collective consciousness of white supremacists to devalue, demoralize, and I honestly believe that it is a collective conscious of white supremacists to mentally to cause a mental damage or to impede on the mental well-being of Black people, and so what we're seeing, of course, we're seeing them kill Black people, and as we go on, as we move forward, like again, I'm creating the foundation for this. Okay, I have a big picture. I have a long-term goal, and my long-term goal is to liberate Black people from bondage. And it's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to be a process, and it's going to require that we create strong Black ties, the same way they have a collective conscience of white supremacists whose goal and whose agenda is to demoralize, to oppress Black people. We have to have a collective conscience to free Black people from bondage. And again, about the police brutality, I did a compare contrast on part 1 of America's Broken Promise. And that is again to demonstrate that we're not treated equally. You know, I read the 14th Amendment to you, what it says about American citizens, us being citizens, and us being able, we as a people being supposed to be treated equally to everyone else, to the masses, to white people, and it's clearly we're not. So going back to the issue of police brutality, just recently, this is really hard for me, you guys, and I know I always say that because it's a struggle, and it being a struggle for me is what actually propels me, because the major damage that this collective conscience of white supremacists, what they're doing is they're creating this mental health pandemic that we have experienced our whole life, and some more than others. And it's acceptable. It's become a norm. And again, I struggle with it because I'm in LA. I'm in California. California is mad racist, y'all. They are like really racist in California, and it's so funny because it's a Democratic state, and they're racist, y'all. I digress. I went on a rant about California, but I'm not going to go there. I'm going to keep moving. And so again, the purpose is to demonstrate how America is dehumanizing Black people. Not only are our rights being violated, basic civil rights are being violated, we are being violated. We are not even shown basic human rights in America. And we see that with so many different cases of police brutality. In the case of Dante, right? That's the most recent. So that's the most hurtful that's happening right now. So again, Reunite Sandy Speaks. I want to emphasize this right now. Reunite Sandy Speaks. One of the value proposition is to create a list of the perpetrators. Like, for example, in the case of Lieutenant Caron Nazario, the one who was the lieutenant who was stopped by Joe Gutierrez. We need to know who Joe Gutierrez is. This is Joe Gutierrez. This is the police officer that, the ex-police officer that terrorized Lieutenant Caron Nazario. Okay, so Reunite Sandy Speaks. One of the things we want to do is put a face on the White Supremacist Collective Conscious, and this gentleman is one of them. Okay, one of the things that I've noticed in media when I'm reading mainstream media, they'll say the judge or the officer. They very rarely say the name of the perpetrator. I really struggle with this, you guys. I struggle with this because I've always knew that I'm black in America. So we know, as black people in America, let me tell you something. Any black person, I don't care where you live, your wealth, your education, to all black people, being black in America is your status. It is an experience. Regardless of what, people who have less money, they kind of think that black people who have more money have a different experience. No, they have the same experience. They have more options, but their treatment is equally as negative. Oftentimes, black people who may have a little bit more education and more privilege, they are conditioned to ignore it, because what ends up happening, it impedes on who you are if you focus on it too much. If you like, oh, they're against me, they're doing this, they're doing that. If you spend your life like that, it's debilitating. Okay, so with Reunite Sandy Speaks, I do want you guys to participate. And one of the things that I want you to do when I start showcasing or reporting these incidents of discrimination, and I don't want it to just be the police. I am very much offended by the big to-do about the police brutality, because people are like, oh, the police are like horrible. We need to do for the police. And the police are horrible. But the treatment is a symptom of the white supremacist collective conscious. This goes on everywhere in America. At your work. When you patronize a business. They often treat us less than humane. They hate us. Many of them hate us. And the thing that they're doing about killing black people, yes, it's horrendous. But we need to be angry, upset, what liberation, just for the fact that we're not being treated equally as it pertains to the 14th Amendment. And so, when Reunite Sandy Speaks, I'm going to create a list. On the list is going to be Joe Gutierrez, Derek Chauvin. Yeah, he got murdered. Yeah, he was guilty. He's in prison, but he's on the list. Because you see how they move. We don't know what they're going to do with him. We don't know if he files an appeal and they find something wrong. Because this is what they move, how they move. The name of this channel is Judge Sarah Heidel is a Racist. This is a racist judge who, I'm homeless. They stole my $1 million home. I'm homeless, have been for months, because of this racist judge who's been was a judge for less than 18 months when she did this to me. Okay, so what I'm saying to you is that black people are being violated and victimized more than if this man could put his knee on a man's neck in broad daylight, if they could shoot Jacob Blake in the back, what else are they doing? So, okay, let me pull it in. So what I'm trying to say to you, as you view my videos, what I need is participation. I can't do this by myself. I know it's going to be a long, hard road, but y'all don't know me. Those people who know me, my life has been somewhat turbulent, but those who know me, especially before I got into that horrific marriage, I make things happen. when I set out to do something, I reached the finish line. I'm the kind of person who, if I set out to do something, I just can't quit. It'll hurt me more to stop than to keep going. And yo, a lot of things happen to me, but everything happens in divine order. So that's my purpose. So again, going back to the focus, with Reunite Sandy Speaks, what I'm trying to say to you guys, please start watching my videos. Please share my videos. Please share that my goal is to have an updated amendment to the Constitution to the 14th Amendment. In these videos, Reunite Sandy Speaks, again, we're going to detail situations and issues dealing with discrimination, and I need you to share with me. I need y'all to send me videos. I need y'all to tell me the names and the participation, and it doesn't just have to be people that murdered us. A black man or a black woman was murdered by a police officer. Okay, you saw what they did to Dante Wright. You saw that. Okay, and I'm going to discuss that in this video. Okay, so what I want you to think about, if we are being murdered in broad daylight, in the case of Ahmaud Arbery, if we're being shot when we're jogging, and it's a cover-up by the police department, by the DA, what are they doing in every aspect of our lives? What are they doing in banking? What are they doing in employment? You know, it's so many other issues or situations where black people are being violated. And the goal, again, is to identify the perpetrator. And identifying the perpetrator is to stop them. We saw that case. You know what? I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put this video in here about the young man in South Carolina who's a bully. The guy who was a service officer bullied him. And y'all saw how they showed up for this young black man. I get excited because there are people who think that we're going to remain in bondage forever, but I know that's not the case. There are millions of black people that think like me. The problem is we're scattered and we're separated. And this is Reunite Sandy Speaks. On one of Sandra Bland's videos, she said the technology was going to do great things. And it's shining a light on everything. It's also giving us an opportunity to get together, people who have like minds or have like objectives to work towards a goal. So when we saw the young black man, I don't know his name. I wish I knew his name. I should know his name.
Hey, they've already been called. They're just waiting. You know what? Maybe you should hang on a little longer. We'll see how it goes. Then we won't have to get the report by ourselves.
What is it you're doing here?
Walking.
Then walk.
I'm on in your yard, bruh. I'm on your territory at this point. Come on. We want to talk to you. Talk to us. We just want to talk. We want to understand some things. That's it. No justice, no peace.
Okay, so y'all saw that, right? And y'all, I'm not even gonna lie, I get excited when my people show up and show out. See, I don't even like saying negative stuff about, but it's a group that thinks that we can't be free from bondage. And I'm here to tell y'all, we can be. Y'all saw that? I've got another photo too. I think I'll put it up here, where it was a turnout of people to take up for that young black man who was walking down the street in his neighborhood. And we saw this white, he was a service officer. I think he was in the Army. I don't know. He was in service. He was in the Army. He harassed him. He pushed him. He just was harassing him. Why you in here? Why you here? And we know he did that because he is black. And y'all see how my people show up? So I'm telling y'all, y'all need to get, I need to get y'all rallied up. I'm not protesting. There's many parts to this, you guys. I need you to understand, this is not going to be an overnight process. There's going to have to be different elements of freeing black people from bondage. And what really comes to mind, why I'm really cognizant of this, because I sit here and I think about this. And I think Cardi B put something on her Instagram. She was like, I was talking about this years ago, and we've been talking about it forever. They put a number 400. We have been in bondage for 400 years. And I'm the 20th key because I'm going to unlock us. I'm going to free us from this bondage. Okay? But I'm going to say I can't do it by myself. What we just witnessed, how people showed up and show out, that's how we're going to free ourselves from bondage. Is there going to have to be some political maneuvering? We're going to have to do that too. But we are going to have to let them know that you're not going to keep doing this to us. And the main thing I want to say this to you. I want to mention this. When I was on Twitter, this lady said, you know, when are they going to stop being threatened by us? They're not threatened by us. They're not putting their knees on our neck and shooting Jacob Blake in the back and killing Ahmaud Arbery and covering it up. They're not shooting Dante Wright with a gun. And I'm going to discuss that here too. I'm going to talk about the consciousness, the state of mind of the white supremacist collective conscious. But they're not threatened by us. Who they like who they're scared of? They're scared of judges. That's why judges get away with this stuff. Because they feel threatened by judges. But we know how I feel about being threatened. I love black people. Period. So the point that I'm saying to you is how you saw them show up and show out for them. That's what we have to do collectively. We have to create strong black ties. I have another video of this photographer. This I don't know if she's a civil rights activist. She's from New York, but she was in, I think, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, where Dante Wright was murdered. And I have a video of her, this black woman, fighting off racist cops and racist ambulance paramedics, like the ones that killed Elijah McClain. Yeah, okay, so getting to the meat and potatoes of this video, America's Broken Promise Part 2. In the previous video, we did a compare and contrast of the treatment of black people compared to white people in similar legal situations. Okay, this video, we're going to discuss the white supremacist collective conscious. We're going to discuss the state of mind of white people. And the primary reasoning behind that is because, again, I have a long-term goal. Long-term goal is to have an updated amendment to the Civil Rights Act. And one of those things, I want us to be defined as a protected class in America. Okay? And what these videos are going to show is to demonstrate that as a people, we need to be a protective class. Ultimately, I'm going to discuss how it affects black people, but ultimately, not going to get into this too deep right now, maybe in summary or in another video. It affects society as a whole. And I'll probably do that in a later video. I'll discuss the compare and contrast and how the white supremacist collective conscious is impeding on American citizens overall. Okay, so this video is to discuss the collective conscious. And you know what? I want to read to you the definition of collective conscious because I think it's very important that we understand this. So the collective consciousness or collective conscious is a set of shared beliefs, ideas, and moral attitudes which operate as an underlying force within society. In general, it does not refer to specific moral conscience, but to shared understanding of social norms. So understand, this is a collective conscience. As we move on, and hopefully maybe we can get some people to participate that are sociologists or work in the field where they study this type of behavior, human behavior. But what we know is that there is a collective conscience. If there's a collective conscience that's working for us in America, it says shared beliefs, okay? It says shared beliefs and understanding of social norms. And I'm going to demonstrate that. I'm going to demonstrate that in this video because we're going to discuss the law enforcement officers that violated the black people in the previous video. what's important that we understand is the state of mind, because one of the things that they talk about is defunding the police. And what is it called? Jeez, guys, I wing a lot of this. I do have notes, but I wing a lot of it. It's called it's a police protection, some kind of immunity. Oh gosh, I hate that. I'm not telling you. I'm not saying it. Qualified immunity. Okay, and I'm going from the top of my head, so don't quote me verbatim. But this is an idea. Okay, this is the thought and the rationalization that I'm expressing to you based on what is going on. Qualified immunity talks about the police have immunity to, in certain circumstances, if they kill someone, if they harm or injure someone. Okay, let me say this to you again. I'm an American, and there's some people, like I rock with the Hebrew. Y'all see me smile because I love the Hebrews. FOI, like I love black people. And this is a particular group I get real giddy about because I love them. I love them because they love black people. But I think part of the ideology is to separate. Some black people are angry, upset with America, like forget America, I hate America. And I get that and I understand that. But I love America. And some of the concepts and ideas of being free, the democracy, I rock with. I support that. But what happens is things get out of order, and there is a imbalance of power, and it's all it comes from what's called the ego, which I might discuss in a different video too. The egoic mind, the white supremacist collective conscious. It is probably built on fear. You guys know I was married to a privileged white person. His life was way different from black people. I was able to observe firsthand what white privilege looks like. So the white supremacist collective conscious, the only threat that they have is that maybe they will lose some of their privilege. Okay? And I tend to get too deep in it because I really think and analyze these situations. But the collective conscious is harming black people. And when we talk about, I was discussing qualified immunity. The qualified immunity says it's supposed to protect. I was going about America because rules and laws are made for a reason. The qualified immunity wasn't made to harm black people or to, I don't think that the laws was written specifically. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not taking for granted that this law was put into effect to hurt society. It was to protect the police officer in the event that something happens, so he is not liable because you had to take on risk as a police officer, right? They take on a lot of risk, and it's part of the job. And sometimes inadvertently things happen. Qualified immunity, they're immune if their intent, it was like, I'm not saying the vernacular or the bright vocabulary words to describe it, but I understand the concept. And the concept is to protect them, and it's not to protect them if their conscious thought was to hurt the assailant. Okay? And this is what's upsetting to me, is that our society is changing. When you guys see y'all call them Karens and white people, and y'all call that privilege. No, they're not operating off of privilege. They're operating off of how they were taught to be an American. As American citizens, we have inalienable rights. Okay? And so, when you see these white people that you say are Karens and they're acting privileged or whatever, they're acting based on how they were taught in school. In elementary school, in high school, about the Constitution, about the right of being an American citizen. So a lot of the attitudes you're seeing, it is defined as white privilege, but they're acting in a way that's normal because this is what they were taught, what it is meant to be an American. What the America's Broken Promise is to demonstrate that we're not being treated the same way. we're not having the same treatment. So in the case of qualified immunity, the officer or the law enforcement officer we have to show that it wasn't his thought to harm this person. In the case of Tamir Rice, he shot Tamir Rice. So we're saying, oh, he had qualified immunity. What I'm going to demonstrate is there's a collective conscious, white supremacist collective conscious, that they see black people as less than human. That they don't have the same, their treatment, their behavior, their attitudes, their actions are not the same as if it was a white person. If it was a white kid, he wouldn't have shot him. So in qualified immunity, I probably should pull it up and discuss it more intelligently where I understand the definition, but I understand the concept. The concept is they have qualified immunity. They're immune in situations where it wasn't preventable. It was an accident that he acted what he thought was the best interest. It wasn't that he was trying to harm the black person. But that's not what we're seeing. Americans Broken Promise, these videos, I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate to America that white supremacist collective conscious treats black people less than human. That I can show beyond a reasonable doubt. And how we show that, we look at occurrences. When we look at occurrences, the weighted evidence, you have evidence, right? When you go to a court of law, you show evidence. And if most of the evidence tips the scale, the probability that the heaviest weight is the most accurate. Okay? So what I'm going to demonstrate is the collective consciousness of white supremacists. And we're going to give the terminology of, we're going to call it white supremacist collective conscious. In the case of Tamir Rice, and I hadn't even studied that. You guys, some of the stuff, I'm Cancer, I say that. And so those who are not a water sign, my Pisces and my Scorpios, y'all know what it is. We feel things. So in the case of a young black man being shot because he's playing guns, cops and robbers, I grew up in New York City playing cowboys and Indians and cops and robbers with my brothers and my cousins. So I knew what that was like, to have cute little revolvers and all that. I grew up like that because I was the only girl with boys. He was playing. When we think that this man shot this young boy, so let's think about this. And it's hard to talk about, but let's talk about this. This is a police officer. He sees a child. A child. Is it conceivable that this police officer really believes that there's a child in the park playing with a gun? Is that believable? Is it conceivable? You have to think about that. Okay? As we go on, I'm going to show you that, and we're going to use the police department because that's the law enforcement office, that's where it's so prevalent and so pervasive. We're going to talk about the consciousness of these police officers. What I want to discuss now, I have my notes. In the case of Joe Gutierrez. Joe Gutierrez was the officer who terrorized Lieutenant Caron Nazario. And let's talk about it. Okay, you guys, I've got my glasses on because I took some notes and I'm going to read from my notes so I can be laser focused in this video. It's not 2 hours long and y'all watch my video and share my video. Okay, so we're witnessing abuse at the basic level of policing in America. In the case of Joe Gutierrez, the barbaric person who violated Lieutenant Caron Nazario, some background of ex-officer, ex-officer Joe Gutierrez. First, Joe Gutierrez violated Lieutenant Nazario on December the 5th, 2020. It was almost 4 months before we knew about this, okay? And I'm pointing that out because what we are demonstrating is the collective conscious, okay? This happened in December. We just heard about Lieutenant Nazario being violated by Joe Gutierrez mid-April, 4 or 5 months later. Okay? Please take note, I'm demonstrating the collective conscience of white supremacists. He was a training officer. My understanding is that he worked in Corona, California. I'm not far from there, Riverside and San Diego. He was an he lived in the California area. And the reason why I'm telling you all this, because again, on this channel, I'm going to demonstrate to you. I want y'all to know, because people that live outside of California don't recognize that. I think people who live in California also don't recognize how racist California is. California is like blatantly racist. And this ex-officer, for 7 years, he worked for U.S. Department of Defense. He's also, again, worked in the California area. Again, it was Riverside, Corona, and San Diego. If you live in California in L.A. County, you know where that's at. And you know how they, and y'all who live here, please be mindful that I have shared that California is an extremely racist state. What I have realized is black people experience racism in every area of America. I don't think we have been cognizant of how California is pervasive with the racism. I really want to emphasize this issue with California. I lived in southern states. I have lived in southern states. That's where I met my husband. There's an air of racism alive in southern states, but they aren't as violated. They're not as bold with their racism in the South as they were with Lieutenant Nazario. Again, we're talking about a basic traffic stop. I talked about in a previous video, and he was fired. Okay, he was fired. I think we learned recently he was fired. Why wasn't he fired in December when it happened? Why wasn't he fired in January or February? In the case of Kim Potter, who shot Dante Wright, they let her go immediately. Okay? They let her go immediately. And so, because what's happening, they're not addressing these issues because they care about black people, because they want us to be free, because it's inhumane. What I believe is they're addressing these issues because it's becoming a burden. I think it's becoming a financial burden. I think when people go to these cities and states and they protest, I think it probably, and you know what, I'm going to do the study on that. I bet it drastically influences the revenue of the city or the state. Not only does it drastically influence the revenue of the city or state, they probably use a lot of resources that cost them more money to investigate, to deal with these cases. Okay, I want to go back to the case of Joe Gutierrez, who terrorized Lieutenant Caron Nazario. And what I want to point out to you is that Joe Gutierrez was a training officer. If you guys remember the video, the young officer was like, and you know what, you guys, I'm sorry for laughing, and I know y'all be like, why you think this is funny? Because they're foul. Now, I'm a New Yorker, and I think New Yorkers, we have different type of humor. Why I'm laughing is because when I'm watching the video, the young white dude is probably like, bro, what you doing? What, he has to go along with it because that's the training officer. But you see, the white man was uncomfortable. Now let's talk about the collective conscious, the white supremacist collective conscious. What I'm going to demonstrate here to you, that was a training officer, okay? So when you do it, when you're training, because they always say go back to training. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna walk with the training, because what they're being trained to do is to violate black people. What they're being trained to do is disregard the rights of black people. Okay, because remember they always say it's a training issue. So let me tell you something. So you know what? We're going to say it's training. Joe Gutierrez, when he stopped Lieutenant Caron Nazario, and he had a trainee with him, he was training him on how to treat black people in a traffic stop. And so you see the young white guy, because like I said, listen, they're racist people. There's people that are more racist than others. Okay? That young white guy probably grew up going to school with all different types of children, different kids. Yes, they're racist and they little behind closed doors. They say little nasty things about us. Remember, I told you I mess with white people and they tell me what their parents think about us. But you can see, the white guy, the young white guy, his body language, he was uncomfortable. As a police officer, he had to go along with it because it's his training officer. It's a superior. The young white guy was trying to, de-escalate the situation by saying, come on out, So here's the point that I'm making, you guys. Again, we're talking about white supremacist collective conscious in America. We're using the police as a example, but I need you guys to give me other examples that happened to you outside of police. If it's small, whatever. What I'm trying to demonstrate is that the white supremacist collective conscious goal and objective and norm is an understood belief is that we are to be treated immoral, less than human. And again, Joe Coteras was a training officer. Again, I got notes, you guys, so I could try my best to stay focused. Kim Potter was the white lady, ex-cop. I'm laughing because they gonna get enough for messing with us, y'all. Yeah. Okay, Kim Potter, a 26-year veteran who murdered a child at a traffic stop. So let's think about, again, what we're going to discuss here. What we're going to focus on is the collective conscious of white supremacists and the state of mind. Okay, what is the state of mind? What is your intent? What are you thinking? How are you thinking? Okay, we are going to examine the state of mind. What is the state of mind of an officer stopping a child about an air freshener? Okay, if you are opposed to me, if you don't like my videos, if you think anything negative about me, I welcome it, because I am a critical thinker, and how I am able to sharpen my skills is when I get opposition. If you tell me something that you don't agree with or I'm wrong, say it. I'm not for ignorance. I don't do ignorance very well. If you're ignorant and you say ignorant stuff, I may address you like politely, but I don't deal. I have very low tolerance for ignorance. Okay, so if you want to say something that you don't agree with or you see it a different way, please share your opinion. And what I'm talking about, please ask yourself the question: what is her state of mind? This is really very vital. What is the state of mind of an officer? And you know what? Again, this was a training officer. This was a training officer who's training someone. If you're training someone, are you going to train an officer to stop a young black kid about an air freshener? What we're talking about is white supremacist collective conscious. The collective conscious is a concept, morals, norm, unspoken, understood. Okay? Yes, I think he had a warrant for marijuana. And then again, there's an issue surrounding the possession of marijuana. I'm not exactly sure. I think he may have had a warrant for marijuana. Marijuana that is legal in the state that I am. Marijuana is legal here. Okay, so and see, the thing is, I don't want to minimize keeping order. Okay, I understand the police is the officers department, and you know what, you guys, I really haven't studied or got into the idea or the concept of defunding the police. Everyone's saying defund the police, and I've had police officers violate me and ruin my life. Okay, but I am not of the mind that everyone's bad. I'm not of the mind that everyone's guilty and everyone wants to hate and kill black people. What I'm trying to demonstrate to you is the white supremacist collective conscious. This is learned behavior. This is when you work in a space in a certain area that it becomes the norm. We all have a physiological need to belong. If Kim Potter is training a subordinate and she has 26 years, if on a training shift, the 26-year veteran, the trainer, stops a kid because he has an air freshener, you are teaching him the culture. Again, my background is corporate America. In different corporations, there's different corporate norms, cultural norms as what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. When you go in certain establishments, you know how people treat you, how they act. If they, in a business, it is what the cultural norm is. Kim Potter stopping a young black man for an air freshener. Did she allow it to escalate? So let me talk to you about her shooting him instead of pulling out a taser. That is all speculative. When we look at the weighted evidence, we look. See, I am an emotional person. I am going to feel things, but because I know I'm like that, I will examine them, and I am going to think rationally. What the guy, the Roberts, what's his name, Roberts? I can't think of his name. He was like, what was she thinking? How did she pull out a gun instead of a taser? Let's talk about it. Many of you are thinking she knew, she had to know the difference. It's the state of mind. She's training a trainee. Okay? She's trying to demonstrate something. She is training a training officer. I don't think she did it on purpose. The more, when y'all say it's heavy or whatever, it was her state of mind and her conscience. She wasn't thinking rationally, and the word I'm kind of coming up with the right word, because this was about, let me show this black boy who's in charge. This was the White Supremacist Collective Conscious. Let me put him in his place. When we try to maneuver, when you try to stick a dick in our ass and we want to move, and you want to know why we yo, they trying to hold us down. So I don't think she did it on purpose. I think she lost herself because what became more important was the egoic mind that this is a black kid and I'm a white woman and you gonna do what I say. So she wasn't thinking. And instinctively, she pulled out the wrong thing. We're talking about state of mind. We're talking about white supremacist collective conscious. So there's two cases of training officers training their trainees about the collective consciousness of white supremacy. I kind of want to go further into the white supremacist collective conscious, but I have a tendency to really make these videos extremely long, and I want to work on that because I think I really want you guys to watch my videos, and I want you guys to participate. What I'm going to edit into this video is the lady, I believe her name is Phoenix Robles. I can't read. Can't say names. I've been that way my whole life. I think her name is Phoenix Robles. Robles. That's what it is. Phoenix Robles. Y'all gonna talk about me? I know, right? It's okay. Anyway, I'm gonna put her video in here because I'm gonna show you this behavior and this attitude. You don't have to fight. You don't have to be. You don't have to fight. I want y'all to see this video because this lady. This is the kind of mindset that we have to have. We have to create strong black ties. In this video, you see a black woman protecting hers. Okay. If you're a black person and you are tired and you have a comment on everything and you saying stuff about what you're seeing, you got to show up. We need all hands on deck. You don't have to go out and protest. There's many different ways that you can participate. Because as I demonstrate the collective consciousness of white supremacists, my goal and my objective is to create a cohesion of the black ties, collective conscious black ties. I'm gonna put a name on that somehow, but it's like it has to do with the collective conscious of Black people. And see, I always want to go here, but I think that I need to make these different videos specific around specific subject matter. And there's other things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the collective consciousness of white supremacists. I want to talk about the 14th Amendment. I want to talk about how our mental health is impeded upon and affected and damaged by the white supremacist collective conscious. I want to talk about how the body operates and how we're affected again. So while I sit here and I want to be very clear to you, if you struggle with listening to me, I am going through the most horrific time of my life because I'm a Black woman. And it only happened to me because I'm Black. Okay?
Pauline, hey sis. How you doing today?
I'm begging you.
How you doing, sis? You okay? What's up? Can I sit with you?
Yes, sir.
We're having a mental health crisis, so please do not do anything. I want to talk to her. I'm a social worker, so I would like to talk to her. She asked me that I can sit.
Don't tell her what to do.
I can sit down with her. You're not going to tell me that I can't sit with my people. You understand? No, I don't need your permission to sit with her.
And you don't have to tell these motherfuckers nothing.
Hi. Why are you sitting here today?
Because of George Floyd.
Because of George Floyd?
Yeah.
I understand that. Power to the people. Black power. Are you okay?
No.
Can we talk about it?
No.
And that's okay too. Is it okay if I sit here with you?
Yes.
Okay. I am in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We are having a sister who is protesting, and she has every right to protest in the middle of the street. What I am doing is that I am making sure that these fucking KKK, fucking Nazi-ass cops don't do no dumb shit.
Get their name, sis.
Kay Deerling is out. Kay Stein, you're not gonna come up to me and do shit. Don't come up to me. I'm making sure I know you're not. Don't talk to me. Don't. We're up the street from the police precinct in Brooklyn Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I have a sister here who is protesting for George Floyd. As we know, the verdict is coming this week. I'm right up the street, Jules. I'm up the street. You know where this spot is.
Okay, I'm getting late for church. Let me just go.
Yes, it is. So how long do you plan on sitting here today?
Stop touching that car, motherfucker.
Get out of her. Is that her car?
You know,
Is that her car? You should probably get out of there because you don't have a warrant.
because I said so. Period.
And because she said so.
So which one is the Tesla, motherfuckers? The yellow one or the black one?
And make sure you keep your hand away from it.
I'm sorry every time you're sorry. For how long? Fanya kazi yako mjinga hii. I'm sorry. Sorry ni mama yako. Which one is the Tesla? The yellow one or the black one, motherfuckers? Know your job.
You don't know why? Because George Floyd was murdered. Because Dante Wright was murdered. A protest means that we block the street and make it seem like you motherfuckers know what's going on. That's why she is protesting for your black life. So what? So what? So what? So what? So what? So what? That's the problem. You're too complicit. That's the problem. More black people should be out on the street problem? You're video recording instead of protecting her. Protect black women. Protect black lives. You people are fucking horrible. Horrible. The fact that I even got to get out the car to ensure that they don't put no fucking bullets in her. You are horrible people. You didn't even bother to ask if she having a fucking mental health crisis. Fucking idiots.
What? Don't touch me.
But no other black person ask her, do she want to go to jail today? You better ask her, does she want people to stop being killed? That's what we're here for. Shame on you if you're a black person scared because she about to go to jail. Be afraid that they putting bullets in us.
No. You don't want to do what? Go explain over there. No, honey. Do I look homeless? No. I said no. Shut up. I'm an African too. Thank you.
So we are in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. We were coming down the street and the street was blocked and my sister is sitting here. My sister was sitting here. She's protesting the murder of George Floyd by Minneapolis police. We're protesting the murder of Dante Wright by blocking traffic. You know how we give it up in New York. You block the streets. So I'm not going to sit here and let 6 different police officers be with one black lady.
Honey, no. Stop talking to me.
This is live currently right now. 6 officers.
I don't know why there are 6. You could come all the Department of Brooklyn, Minnesota, Vajinga Nyingi. Why are you only 6 here? Actually, I don't like your smile, bitch. You better go outside and sit in the car. That's how I feel.
How do you feel?
Fuck you. That's how I feel. Like you. Go sit in the car. That's how I feel.
I'm not worked up, but I'm definitely not going to let people talk to her crazy like she's crazy. The problem is that you people think that when black women start yelling at your dumb asses that we're crazy. And it's that we have to come out of our faces and disrespect you, that you, at the end of the day, want to do something about it. We're not crazy. It's that up. You should stop talking. Stop talking. Are you a professional? Stop talking. It's not about your feelings.
Yeah, it's not about your uniform.
It's not about you.
It's not about your color.
It's about you being quiet. Be quiet.
How shit is that simple? If you know your job, motherfuckers.
Go give up your badge if you want to help.
Yeah. Go do nothing. Or drive shit Uber. Simple.
Look at these people.
She doesn't want to have it to North Memorial Beach. If you touch me, you tell me which uniform is like I'm sick. My child, you are not my mama, Nyamaza. Go tell your kids. Mama. Yes. Yes.
I have no idea. Now they're putting them on. But the EMT's here. Some of them have them on.
Mama, go talk to your kids. You feel me? I'm not in Africa. I have a mama. I understand you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You, what are you doing? Oh.
Giving you water. It's our allies. It's allies.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, paramedic with North.
So what?
What's your name?
So what?
I just wanted to know your name just so
I don't want to tell you my name, so fuck off.
Okay.
You said you wanted to go to the hospital, right?
So, I'm here on
Honey, fuck off.
Okay, so I'm here on a medical...
Fuck off, Stephanie, fuck off. Mariah.
Mariah.
Touch me, you see, motherfucker.
No, I'm not going to...
Period.
Yeah, so, let me just explain.
Stop explaining to you, motherfucker. I know.
Okay.
I've been to North Memorial. You have attended to me. Go check your record. Dorcas was
Okay.
41.
Yeah.
Get the fuck
Can I
out.
just explain why
Get the
I'm...
fuck
No, she doesn't want you talking to her. What part of no don't you understand?
Yeah,
Which
Well, I know you don't. Don't shake your head at me and say that you do. She wants you to leave. She didn't call you. She didn't call you. I don't care. She didn't call you. 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 Okay, so stop talking to her.
Yeah, listen.
Stop talking to her. I am a mental health worker, and I'm telling you, you talking to her could possibly cause trauma. I'm telling you to stop talking to her. It's mad of you, Circle, to back the fuck up. Back up, no, back up. Back up. Back up. Back up.
It's that simple.
Back up, back up. Back up. I don't give a fuck what you said. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. You're way too fucking close. Crowding this black woman like she's a fucking caged animal. Back your dumb ass up. Back up. Back up. I don't give a fuck. Back up. I am. Move back. Move back. Move back. Move back. Please move back. Please move back. Because I'm going to get hands on them. Please. Please. Please.
Yeah, y'all want to exclude people with felons and all that bullshit. But guess what? That's bullshit.
I'm not going to let them take you.
Change the motherfucking law.
I can't, I'm not a legislator.
That's what we want to change.
They have to take me too. She's fine. Get the fuck out of here. You know what's wrong? Is that black people are dying, you stupid bitch. Move. Move. No, you don't. Is your people being killed at an exponential rate? Shut the fuck up, Becky. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here, bitch.
Okay, if she doesn't want medical service, the ambulance can leave.
Yes, y'all should leave.
Get your complicit ass out of here. Go find somebody that's dying, bitch. Go find a fucking kid that's black that these motherfuckers are putting bullets in. Get your ass out of here and save a life, ho.
And y'all should go patrol y'all neighborhood.
Go find some fucking actual crime, motherfucker.
Live here where you live.
These are streets. You get paid.
I'm asking, do you live in this neighborhood? We want people.
I'm not going to let you come over here. If you think you're going to take her, you're going to have hands because I'll fight back.
You go home. You feel me? Y'all don't make no motherfucking sense.
You guys want to make a scene in the street? We're out here.
Thank you.
Joe, sit in your car. Go get your OT. Get your fucking OT. Get your ass in that car. Get in the car. Get in the car. This is what protesting is. This is what protesting is. Get the fuck out of here. Don't talk to me right now, please. Y'all gonna sit here and let them run up on her like that. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Surrounding this black woman like she a fucking cage animal and you're judging her for protecting you. Get away from her. You didn't even bother to sit your black bodies next to her. But you want to call us a community? You can't even protect black women. You're gonna fucking sit here and penalize her with these fucking cops. You see they turned around? Why? Why? Because we got control. We're in control. We're in control. Fucking idiots. All right, y'all. They're gone for right now. So I'm gonna log off. Are you hungry? Do you want food?
No.
Do you need anything? Can I hug you?
I wanna be hugged.
Oh.
This is the world we live.
Okay, you guys, I hope you were able to watch the whole video of, her name is Phoenix Robles, I believe. I believe that's her name. I'm not 100% sure. What was awesome about the videos is she never put the camera on herself. And it's a lot of activists out here that's out here acting like fashion bloggers and influencers on Instagram. They trying to get clout. They're not trying to free black people. That young lady was protecting hers. And that's how we have to move, y'all. Okay? Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. This is Reunite Sandy Speaks, American Broken Promise Part 2. I'm the 20th Key. And this is Reunite Sandy Speaks.
Us from war jogging, kill us in our homes and fabricating and hiding. Where we had Sandra Bland's and Trayvon Martin's. If when you kill us, your family was a target. If your children was orphans, will you have compassion the next time you approach us? Yeah, we fed up, this is built up. Your city up in smoke, homeboy, we had enough. And I ain't enticing riots of violence, heighten the climate. I'm saying you smack me, I'm punching you in your iris. Retaliation is prescribed in both Bible and Quran. In the matters of the slang, see an eye for an eye, especially if the Justice Department do not comply.